Alright, so this is my review of AC/DC's 8th studio album, For Those About to Rock. It was released in 1981 and produced by Mutt Lange. Most people tend to think of this as kind of a step down from Back in Black, and I agree with that. It's not like on the same level as Back in Black, not quite as great, but it is a pretty good record still. I think a solid album. I think that like the songwriting quality on it isn't quite as good as Back in Black. It seems like, I don't know, maybe they needed like a little bit more time to work on some of the songs. But there are other things about the album I really like. I've read that like during this period in time they were getting kind of fed up with Mutt Lange because he was like concentrating a lot on trying to get like the right drum sound and like kind of wasting a lot of time and stuff. But I kind of think it paid off because I really like the production on this album. Like I think it sounds really good. The drums actually I think sound really good. This kind of reminds me of a Led Zeppelin album because it's like AC/DC at their most like kind of bombastic, like it has that big drum sound, which is definitely something I like about this album. It's also kind of seems kind of like a darker to me. It's got like a darker atmosphere, which I like about it. So getting into the songs, the first song, For Those About to Rock, this is one I've always liked because I did actually listen to this album quite a bit growing up. It wasn't really one of my favorites, but I listened to it a lot to try to get it, because when I listened to it the first couple times I didn't really like it. But now that I've kind of come back to it years later, I definitely appreciate it more than what I did then. But this was one of the songs off it that I did like, For Those About to Rock. Even though I have always kind of thought that it starts out a little weird, like it gets kind of better as it gets going, especially towards the end with the canon parts and the guitar and stuff at the end is really cool. The second song, Put the Finger on You, is another song I really like on the album. I think it's really catchy. I think it's got a pretty cool guitar riff. Then the third song, Let's Get It Up, is another song I like. I mean, it's just a good, catchy, like, guitar song. I mean, the lyrics are dumb, and the lyrics are kind of dumb on this whole album, but that doesn't really bother me because, like, the songs are catchy, and the guitar parts are, like, cool, and Brian's voice still sounds really good on this album. I actually think that he might sound a little bit better on this album, honestly, than Back in Black, because it's like, I mean, maybe I'm just, like, reading this into it a little bit because I know it's their second album with him, but it seems like he has maybe a little bit more confidence on this album than on Back in Black. But anyway, so I really like the song Let's Get Up. I think it's a good song. The fourth song, Inject the Venom, it's got some cool guitar. Brian has some good vocal parts on it, I think. It's got some cool drumming. And just a really good performance by the band. But the song itself just doesn't really like stick in my mind that much. But still, it's not bad. It's just, to me, not that memorable. The fifth song, Snowblind, has some more guitar parts that I like. It's pretty cool. Or not Snowblind, I think they call it Snowblind there, but there's like a million songs called Snowblind. Snowballed, the fifth song, Snowballed. So this song, like I was saying, I like the guitar parts. Another song that's not extremely memorable to me, the only thing I can really remember about it a whole lot is just them saying Snowball. The sixth song, Evil Walks, is another song that I like. I think the riff's pretty good. The chorus part with the backing vocals is pretty cool. Just a cool kind of evil sounding song. The seventh song, COD, which I think, what's that stand for? I think it's Call of the Devil, I think. It's kind of a weird song. I used to not like it because I thought the title was weird and how they like sing COD in the backing vocals. But now I actually like the song. I think that it's pretty catchy. It's got some cool guitar parts. Brian sounds good on it. So now I like it quite a bit. The eighth song, Breaking the Rules, is kind of slower, and it's one that I used to listen to quite a lot. I can remember, listening to when I was younger, and I like it still. The ninth song, Night of the Long Knives, is another one I used to listen to a lot because I think some of the songs on this album too in particular, I'd listened to a lot growing up because titles were kind of strange for AC/DC song titles. So some of these songs I listened to for the first time just because they had a weird title, and I think this was one of them. But I like this song. I kind of think it's cool how the guitar parts kind of like copy the vocal and like when he's singing the part "Night of the Long Knives." So it's a pretty cool song, but kind of weird sounding for AC/DC, I guess. And then finally, the 10th song, "Spellbound." It's another song that I like. It's kind of slower, kind of darker sounding. I think it works really good as an album closer, though. So all in all, like, I think that this album is still pretty good. It's not as good as Back in Black and not as good as Highway to Hell, the other two Mutt Lange produced albums, but I do think it still sounds really good. It's just the songs are a little weaker, kind of just not all of them are as catchy, and the ones that are like catchier either have like really kind of dumb lyrics or just like weirder lyrics, which I mean, you don't really listen to AC/DC albums for the lyrics, so that doesn't really matter or bother me, and it doesn't really factor into what I think about the songs. It's just, I think, something that people bring up and mention, at least in things that I've heard before. But I mean, all in all, I'd say this album's probably, for me at least, a solid 4 out of 5. I definitely recommend checking it out. I don't think it's nearly as bad as what I've heard some people say. It's not, like I said, not anywhere near as great as Back in Black, but it's definitely a decent record in its own right.